Imagine holding in your hand most extraordinary machine in the universe. It's not just a supercomputer humming in the sterile lab, nor is it the gimling piece of technology crafted by engineer. It's a 3-pound organ inside your head, your brain. This living, breathing marvel is rewriting itself every single day of your life. Adapt to your experiences, thoughts, and your choices. Unlike any device humans have ever built, your brain is a dynamic blueprint continuously under construction, reshaping who you are and who you can become. Let's take a journey into this remarkable organ and uncover its whole, the key to meaningful life. For long, we have thought of the brain as a something rigid, like a sculpture carved in the stone. Society, our culture, and even some outdated science have convinced us that our personality, our intelligence, and the ability are fixed at birth or in the early life. How many times have you heard something say, "This is just who I am," or "I'm not wired that way"? Maybe you have said it yourself, believing that your struggle, your limitation, and your habits are permanent, etched into your being like a name on the tombstone. But here is the truth. It's both astonishing and liberating. That idea is wrong. It's not just a little off. It's a myth that has been shattered by modern neuroscience. Your brain is not a static object. It's a living, breathing system, as alive as your beating heart. Your neurons connect and disconnect, forming new pathway or letting old one fade. Then synapses, the tiny junctions where neuron communicates, fire, rewire, or dissolve. Protein shift, hormones flow, and genes turn on or off in response to your experiences. Every moment, your brain is adapting, remodeling itself based on the life you live. Just your muscles grow stronger with exercise, your brain reshapes itself with every thought, every action, and interaction. This process is called neuroplasticity. This is the foundation of your brain blueprint, and it means you are never a finished product. Consider this: two persons can go through the same experiences as jobless and the heartbreak. A moment of triumph and come away with the entirely different outcome. One might spiral into the self-doubt and their brain itching pathway of fear or defeat. The other might emerge stronger, their brain forging connections rooted in the resilience or the hope. The difference isn't just the event itself, it's the how the brain process, interact, and the rewire itself in response. Your brain blueprint is always under construction, and every day you are adding new line of design. This realization is profound. If your brain is never done evolving, then neither are you. The version of yourself you experience today, your strength, your quirk, your struggles, is just as draft. Tomorrow, your brain will sketch something new. Right now, as you watching this video, your neurons are firing in the unique pattern, leaving trace that will either strengthen repetition or fade with neglect. Your brain is a canvas, and you are not just a bystander. You are the artist, the architect, the one holding the brush. Now we'll talk about the myth of fixed brain. Let's pause to consider why this idea of changeable brain feels so revolutionary. For centuries, people believed the brain was fixed. Once shaped, it was done. And this belief dominated medicine, psychology, and culture. If you were born with a certain talent, you were lucky. If you were lacked them, that was your lot. Teachers saw intelligence as static. Doctor viewed brain damage as permanent. And parents believed the personality trait were set into a stone. And this wasn't the born of the malice, it was simply what people thought they knew. When the early scientists studied the adult brain, they saw fewer changes in the new cell forming compared to the child brain. They assumed the brain stopped changing after adolescence. Without modern tools like functional MRI scan or advanced imaging, they couldn't see the constant rewiring, the subtle growth of the dendrite, the shifting strength of the synapses, and the brain ability to adapt. They miss the fact that lack of new cells doesn't mean a lack of change. The brain has its own toolkit for reinvention and it's always at work. And this myth of the fixed brain had consequences. It trapped generation in the limiting belief. A child told they weren't smart enough might grow up thinking their brain was defective. An adult told recovery was impossible after a stroke might never try to the therapy that could help. Someone labeled the anxious or shy might accept those traits as unchangeable, never realizing their brain could carve new paths. The myth became the prison, locking people into the version of themselves they didn't have to be. But the cracks in this myth began to show. In the late 20th century, researchers noticed something remarkable. A stroke patient with the right therapy could regain lost ability, like speech or movement, as other part of the brain adapt to take power. Musicians, even as adults, develop the denser gray matter in the area tied to sound and the coordination. London taxi drivers who memorized thousands of city routes grew larger hippocampi, the brain region that responsible for spatial memory. Meditation practitioners, after just week of the practice, showed the thicker neuronal networks for the focus and emotional regulation. These discoveries weren't isolated. They piled up, revealed the truth. No, the brain is a living garden, not a hindered pot. It can regrow, recover, and bloom in the new direction with the right care. And this shift in the understanding is still young. Many of most groundbreaking findings about the adult neuroplasticity have emerged only in the last few decades. You are the first generation to fully grasp that the brain keeps changing as long as we are alive. This is a revolution and it hands us the extraordinary opportunity. If your brain is always rewiring, then excuses like I'm too old to change or this is just how I am wired lose their power. Change isn't just possible, it's inevitable. The only question is whether you shape it consciously or let it happen by default. So now I'll discuss the things which is you are the architect. This thing brings us to the pivotal moment. If your brain is a blueprint constantly redrawn, then you are not a passenger in your life. You are the architect. Yes, biology lays some foundations. Your genes influence the tendency like how easily you feel stress or how quickly you learn. Early experiences like the childhood environments carve initial pathway that can feel like well-worn road. But these are not the whole story. Those roads can be repaved, rerouted, or replaced entirely. Think of your brain as a city. Some neighborhoods were built long ago. Habits, belief, or fear that feel automatic because they have been traveled so often. But the city is always growing, right? New street can be built, old one can close. If one path leads to the dead end, you can design a detour. Science shows this in action. Learning a new skill like playing an instrument build new neuronal connections. Practicing gratitude strengthens the pathway tied to emotional resilience. Even something as simple as juggling for a few weeks can increase gray matter in area linked to coordination. This plasticity means the idea of fixed self is an illusion. You might think of yourself as not creative or bad with the names, but those labels are just a snapshot of your brain current wiring. They are not permanent. Every time you repeat a thought like I am not good at this, you reinforce that pathway, making it stronger. But the reverse is also true. Every time you challenge that thought, practice a new skill or step outside your comfort zone, you lay down new track. Your brain is listening and it follows the script you give it. Most of us don't think of our brain as a plastic. We walk around believing we are finished product, repeating phrases like I am not disciplined or I am just anxious. These words aren't just harmless, they are instructions to your brain, reinforcing the very pattern you might want to change. But what happens when you rip up that script? When you tell yourself, I can learn, I can grow, I can change, suddenly the impossible feels possible. You start noticing small changes, a small sign of progress, a new skill you pick up faster than they expected, a habit that starts to stick, a moment of calm where anxiety used to be resign. These are your brain's blueprint coming to life. Proof that you are already reshaping who you are. Now we will learn the biology of meaning. Now let's dive deeper into what drives this blueprint. We often think of meaning as something abstract, a philosophical question to ponder over coffee. But your brain treats meaning as a biological necessity, as essential as food or air. It's wired to seek it, detect it, and build your life around it. Your brain has a specific network that handles this search for the meaning. The default mode network, DMN, that activates when you turn inward, like daydreaming, reflecting on who you are, or imagining your future. It's the storyteller in your head, weaving the narrative of this is me and this is where I'm going. Then there is a silence network which scans the world for what matters most right now. A threat to avoid, opportunity to seize, and then prefrontal cortex. Like a conductor, help you plan, decide, and regulate these processes. Together, these networks form an engine of meaning, making sense of experiences and guiding your choices. When you connect your action to a larger purpose, your brain doesn't just feel better, it functions better. Stress circuit calm, reward pathway light up with the dopamine, and memory consolidate more effective. Studies show that the people who see their daily task as a part of the bigger goal handle effort differently. A nurse's working girdling shift to the care to patient feel less drained than someone doing meaningless job, even if the hours are the same. Why? Because meaning is fuel. It tells your brain this is worth it, making the load feel lighter. This goes beyond mood, like purpose reshape your brain's long-term health. People with a strong sense of meaning show greater resilience against the cognitive decline. Their brain build extra connection, like backup system. So if one pathway weakens with the edge, other can step in. It's as if meaning weaves a safety net across your neuronal blueprint. Research even suggests that the purpose is as protective as exercise or a healthy diet linked to the longer life and better recovery from the stress. Your heart rate stabilizes, your blood vessels relaxes, and your immune system's strength. All because your brain sends a reason to keep going. But why purpose so powerful? Because it's not a luxury, it's a survival tool, hardwired into us by evolution. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors faced brutal challenges. Those who could connect their struggle to the something bigger, feeding their family, protecting their tribe, honoring shared ritual, and those were more likely to endure. Their brain rewarded them with the dopamine for the acting on the purpose, lowered cortisol when they felt connected, and boosted immunity when they believed their effort mattered. These biological nudges helped them survive and pass on their genes. Today, the same wiring runs in the background. When you wake up with the reason to get out of the bed, your brain shifts gears. Neurotransmitters stabilize your mood, your autonomic nervous system balances itself, and even your cardiovascular health improves. Purpose isn't just about feeling good, it's about optimizing your biology for resilience and the longevity. Here is the key distinction. Purpose is not just the same as passion. Passion is a spark, exciting but fleeting. Purpose is a steady flame asking not what thrill me, but what sustain me. Passion lights up the reward circuit in short bursts. Purpose engages long-term planning, resilience, and stress regulation. And that's why a parent can stay up night after the night for their child, or activists can face danger for the cause. Their brain senses meaning and say, keep going. But there is a cost to living without purpose. When your brain can't find meaning, it registers it's like a starvation. A stress circuit overfire, inflammation rises, and the cognitive decline accelerated. Loneliness, disconnection, or aimlessness are not just emotional, they are biological crises. Your brain craves the meaning the way your body craves food. Solo substitution like social media likes or the fleeting praise might strike it temporary, but they don't nourish. True purpose builds a deeper, more resilient blueprint. Now we will talk about shaping your blueprint. Every choices you make, every thoughts, every habit, or every action is shaping your brain blueprint. When you align a small action with the bigger value, like helping a friend or learning something new, your brain strengthens pathway tied to purpose and connection. When you drift, chasing distraction, or repeating the negative thought, your brain builds restless, fragmented pattern. Most people let their blueprints evolve by accident. Stress, media, or routine curve pathway that lead nowhere. But you can choose to be intentional, imaging designing your brain toward resilience, curiosity, or compassion. Every time you practice a new skill, reflect on what matters, or take a step towards the goal. You are laying down new neuronal track. It's not always easy. Old pathways are stubborn, but it's always possible. Let's make this concrete. Say you want to be more confident. Instead of saying, I am just not confident, try some action. Speak up in the meeting, practice a new skill, or challenge a negative thought. Each action tells your brain, this is the new path. Over time, those pathways become highways. Or maybe you want to feel more connected, volunteer, call a friend, or share kind words. These actions strengthen the social bonding circuit, making connection feel natural. Your brain is listening, ready to adapt. Now, the turn a life of intention. This is the pivot point. If the meaning is biological and your brain is always rewiring, then you face a choices. Will you let your blueprint form by chances, or will you shape it with the purpose? For too long, the myth of the fixed brain held us back, convincing us change was impossible. Now we know better, right? Your brain is garden and you are gardener. You can't control every storm, but you can choose what to plant and nurture. So ask yourself, what kinds of blueprint are you building? Are you reinforcing pathway of fear, doubt, or distraction? Or are you craving paths towards the resilience, purpose, and meaning? The beauty of neuroplasticity is that it's never too late. Your brain is ready to rewrite itself one choice at a time. Start small, pick one action today that aligns with what matters to you. Whether it's the learning something new, helping someone, or reflecting on your goals. Each step strengthens the blueprint of the meaningful life. You are not just living, you are designing. And with the every intentional choices, your brain becomes a partner in the building a life that feels whole, vibrant, and deeply yours. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.